here from What Laura Likes, and today we're talking about being a stay-at-home mom. I can't believe that I have not talked about this yet. I am so passionate about staying home with your kids. I think it's the most important job that you could ever have. I want to talk about two things. I want to tell you my story a little bit, and then I also want to talk about the woman who made the decision for me so easy and so simple, and that is Dr. Laura. Now, I know some people love Dr. Laura, some people don't love Dr. Laura. There are things that she talks about that I definitely don't agree with. However, when it comes to being a mom and being a wife, I hands down have to give her 100% credit for the decision to be the wife and mother I am today. To get started, I'm going to talk about her book, In Praise of Stay-at-Home Moms. Now, I actually got a signed edition. I was so excited when this thing came out, and I picked this up this morning to kind of look through it before talking to you today, and it just filled up my stay-at-home mom tank. Like, wow, you guys. If you are a stay-at-home mom, or you are considering a stay-at-home mom, or you know someone who is considering staying at home, gift this book. It is filled with just wisdom and stories and just beauty about motherhood and sacrifice, but how it's all worth it. There has been nothing better than waking up every morning with my children. There has been nothing better than having the entire day with them. Now, does stay-at-home momhood come with its own struggles? For sure. Would it be easier some days to go into an office where I'm getting kudos for a job well done, I'm getting a ton of me time, and I'm getting to stimulate my brain in ways that, most days I'm not necessarily getting to when I stay home? For sure. But I would not trade seeing every single one of my kids' firsts. I would not trade helping them develop their relationship, because I can't stand the fact that siblings are separated in daycares. So let's talk about my story, because I think that would help kind of lead me through to the whys. Okay, so my mom worked, so I grew up assuming I was going to work. It was just never a question. And I went from thinking I was going to be a teacher to thinking that I was going to be an attorney. When I decided to become an attorney, my husband was at the same time deciding to leave school and go get a job. And so we decided he was going to be Mr. Mom. And we were totally okay with that. I was like, okay, I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to earn this lawyer income, and you're gonna be Mr. Mom. And he's an amazing dad, and he could totally done it. And then I started praying about it and listening to Dr. Laura more and really opening my heart to it and realizing I want to hold my babies, I want to nurse my babies, I want to snuggle my babies. I want to do it all, and I don't want to be at work 60 hours a week and he get to be Mr. Mom. So that was a really hard realization. I was in law school. I think when we decided that, it was hard because the earning potential was so different and we weren't really sure how to make it work. But God does provide, and you don't ever see how things are going to work out till they work out. So a lot of it is faith and trust. So the first year of Chloe's life, we hobbled along. I worked as a contract attorney, pulling in some money now and then. Long story short, thank God for the attorneys who did hire me, and I was able to work in the evenings and weekends, but it wasn't enough. And so ultimately, Ryan had always wanted to join the military. Being a military wife has helped me stay home. The Army provides enough money on a single income to where you can stay home. Now, does that mean we get new cars? No, we have very old cars. We do not have payments. The only debt we have are student loans. The Army provides, but it doesn't provide superfluously. You have to still live very much on a budget, and that's okay. We don't go on vacations. We make sacrifices. The minimalism definitely helps with the Army wife stay-at-home life, because shopping is just not really something you do when you only live on one income. Would I trade this for a new car and a fancy office and business suits and and the prestige of being an attorney? No, I wouldn't. I actually had the chance last year when we were in Oregon to make that switch. I became a member of the bar again. We had a very serious conversation about what it would look like if I went back to work and Ryan took over the home jobs. And ultimately we decided that wouldn't make either of us happy. Ryan really enjoys having that traditional role, being the breadwinner, slaying the dragons. And I really love this position of taking care of the children in the home and making dinner. Of course, I don't really like to make dinner, but I make dinner most days. But I love it. I think this is the most blessed life. I'm just forever thankful every day that I wake up and I don't have to rush out of the house, that I get to educate my children. They're upstairs playing together right now. I mean, they're 7 and 4 and they're best friends. The thing about staying home, especially, oh my gosh, when your babies are little, you just never let go of that bond. I practiced attachment parenting, especially with Chloe. She slept with us for a while. I nursed her until almost 2. I can't remember the other things about attachment parenting, but the idea is that you create such a strong bond that then when they're older, they feel very comfortable going out in the world because they feel very secure at their home life. And that's something that I've just really seen with my children, is that their home life is so steady and so secure. And yes, we're in the Army, so we move. And yes, my husband deploys, and that is definitely a challenge, but my children are resilient. And they are strong because I am so steady in their lives. I mean, mom is always there, to the point where sometimes they definitely take it for granted that mom's there, and we talk about things like respect, and that's an important reason to have dad around to, say, step in and say, hey, you do not talk to your mother that way, because things can get kind of lax, Chloe's been my buddy from day one. Your kids don't appreciate it, okay? Like, let's just be honest. They're not gonna say, Mom, thanks for staying home with me when they're 7 and 4. This is their life. But I really wanted to make this video because I wanted to say that if you are a stay-at-home mom and you're struggling, you're feeling isolated, you're feeling like you don't have a lot of energy, or all you're doing is taking care of other people and no one's taking care of you. If you're feeling like you don't get enough accolades for what you're doing, especially, oh my gosh, society gives you no accolades. Your family might not be giving you accolades. When you stay home, it's a decision you have to stand by 100% and realize that society and possibly your family and friends are going to look at you sideways, especially if you have an advanced degree, and they're going to minimize what you're doing. And I just want to tell you, it's not minimized. If you put everything in the eyes of God and pleasing God, what does God want you to do with those little souls that He's giving you? He feel like God puts everybody on this earth to do a job, to do something to better His children. As He says, whoever takes care of the least of my children takes care of me. Sometimes that means caring for your family that He's given you. Look around you at the people that you are exposed to on a daily basis. Most of us as women are going to be exposed to our children and husbands first. And they should be the ones that we are pouring ourselves into, pouring our love into, our service into, and you will get it back. You have to look for it. Your husband giving you a kiss in the morning is you getting it back. Your husband putting your kids to bed because you're tired after he's had a long day is, him giving it back. Your children saying, I love you, Mommy, or thank you for this milk, is giving it back. It's not going to look like some accolades you get from an attorney when you win a case or you bring in a new client. You have to look for the little things. And again, if you're thinking about this from a perspective of God and what is pleasing Him, not what's pleasing the world, you're never going to please everybody, and you shouldn't even be trying. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a hobby. I made this YouTube channel because I like having a side project for myself. At some point, I may pick up some law work if it doesn't interfere too much with my children. At some point, I might create a mediation practice, which is kind of my ultimate dream. But my children are 7 and 4, and now is not the time to do that because they need me a lot, And I heard something from Connected Families once, and it really stuck with me. And it was like those kind of moments where you feel like your kids are driving you crazy. That's the devil weaseling its way into your brain and telling you, and into your heart, saying you can't do this, or that someone else is somehow better equipped to do it. Are you kidding me? Who is better equipped to teach your kids and to raise your kids than you? God gave you the souls. They're matched with you. Get this book. Dr. Laura Schlesinger. Seriously, I should know how to say it. I've listened to this woman since I was like 20. In praise of stay-at-home moms. And I don't care what you think of Dr. Laura. This book is a game changer. And if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Message me. I am so passionate about this. If you are feeling it all called to stay home, sit down with your husband, figure out the math. It is doable. It might take sacrifice. It might mean serving your country and joining the military. It might mean your husband working 2 jobs. I've heard stories like that. If I could get one mom to realize her worth and to realize that her children are better off if she stays home, mission accomplished. It's that one life that I want to change. It's that one mom who I want to fill up her mom tank and let her know how important she is and how valuable she is and how irreplaceable you are. No one else can do your job. No one else can be your child's mother. No money is worth that, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. If you stay home, just know how valuable you are. Know how precious. Even if your kids go to school and you're home, you're still taking care of the home. You're still filling yourself up. So when your kids get off that bus, you're right there. You're getting socialization questions. Comment down below and I will give you some arguments, because that is a bunch of BS. No 1-year-old needs to socialize. They don't. You're their whole world. They've been on this earth for 12 months. They don't need to socialize. Take them to story time once a week at your library, and they won't even notice the other children. You guys, I have an education degree. I'm not just saying this to say this. There's parallel play for a long time. There's you teach your child manners, not some other kid their same age. Another 3-year-old is not going to teach your child please and thank you. You're going to teach your child please and thank you. And they can practice when they go to the grocery store and someone says, oh my gosh, that's a cute Superman outfit, and they can say thank you. I mean, let's be real. The socialization thing drives me nuts. And I'm a homeschooler now, so it's driving me nuts more. My kids are socialized. They go to the park and they're the most polite children there. They're a little loud. They spend the day, I don't know what they're doing right now, but they're doing something. They're banging doors around. If your husband is questioning the decision, make it worthwhile for him, you guys. Put on some makeup when he gets home and be flirty. I mean, show him how you being home is, he comes home for lunch, you know what to do. I mean, staying at home should be a blessing. I'm going to go make some tea, hug my kids, and we're going to do some kind of homeschool thing, because honestly, my homeschool is very lax, and that's okay with me because they're both learning a lot, and that's all I care about. You guys, this is Laura from What Laura Likes. I hope that rant wasn't too random, and I am so passionate. Go get the book. Go get the book. If you are struggling, I want to send you the book, but I don't have that kind of money because I'm a stay-at-home mom. But seriously, go get the book. In Praise of Stay-at-Home Moms. You will not regret it. I love it because it is everything she talks about in a book. So you can pull it up anytime. And if you are struggling in your marriage or in some kind of relationship with anxiety, anything, give her podcast a listen. She has a free call of the day on her podcast channel. She's also on Sirius XM. She may be a little shocking at first, but her wisdom is invaluable. Like I said, I don't agree with everything Dr. Laura talks about, but I agree with most of it. So tell me what year was the hardest for you. I want to say the toddler years are hard. I felt like I couldn't leave the house with my son because he was crazy, and my daughter threw the worst tantrums ever. And it's like when you only have your kids as your barometer of success in a way, it can be really easy to tie their behavior into your success. Don't do it. They're kids. They're 2 and 3 years old. They're gonna have tantrums. Obviously with the second one, it was easier because I knew that. And if you have 3 or 4 or 5, you know the game. But anyway, if this is your first one, do not base your value on what your kids do, because unless you're really just watching TV and eating bonbons all day, it's not your fault. If you are watching TV and eating bonbons all day, you're doing it wrong, and let's talk. Okay. Until next time, guys, this is Laura, and I really appreciate you sticking around. I look forward to talking to you later. Bye.